So never forget that inflation compounds. You need to own assets that can fight a disinflation environment starting from an inflationary monetary induced economy. That's what capitalism is. Capitalism needs inflation so that the collateral backing bank loans appreciates over time, because the reality is all the banks are undercapitalized. It is a function of the fiat Ponzi. When you only hold $6 to $8 of equity risk capital on your books as a bank to protect against loan losses, the other 94 or 92 cents or 94 cents on the dollar comes from depositors' money.
For some time now, calls that the end of the US dollar is near have greatly intensified. For instance, Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki has spent the most part of the year talking about how the fiat currency and the US economy are doomed and bound to fail. Kiyosaki has warned that Americans will soon have no other option than to revolt against the government because of the severity of the economic collapse. Many other investors, independent analysts, and fund hedge managers like Ray Dalio, Michael Burry, and Bill Miller have all warned about the coming financial catastrophe. Former fund hedge manager Greg Foss and Max Keiser, famous Bitcoin OG, and the former host of the Keiser Report both discussed the direction of the U.S. economy and the U.S. dollar. Foss maintains that inflation may yet persist for longer because capitalism needs inflation. He also opines that the Federal Reserve may not do much to reduce the skyrocketing prices except if it would risk sending the economy into a severe period of depression. We will now take you to Foss and Keiser's interview. But before we do, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to drop your comments and observations below. Thanks and enjoy the video.
They need inflation. They can't control it. If they do, it's going into a depression. This is not a soft landing. You might have been a little gratuitous in your definition. We are currently probably in a recession right now, and the Fed has only raised rates twice. They're saying they're going to raise another 7 times and stop quantitative or do quantitative tightening. That QT is equivalent to another 4 additional rate hikes. So they're talking another 11 rate hikes. Don't even pretend that you're going to do another couple, let alone another 11 in total. The economy can't stand it. We will be in depression. And a final shout out to Max. Yes, Putin understood this. And guess what he's going to start doing, Max? He's going to start pricing his energy in Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is digital energy. And it makes sense to sell valuable natural resource commodities or energy for beautiful monetary energy. Why sell it for a worthless fiat dollar, petrodollar, that they don't even have access to when they get blocked on the SWIFT system? So many easy scenarios to play out here, and no one's listening.
Right. Well, on February 26th, effectively the U.S. Seized foreign assets and defaulted on their U.S. dollar obligations. So similar to 1971, when the U.S. defaulted to Great Britain, when Nixon went on the gold, took us off the gold standard. And this began this 50-year experiment of all fiat money, which was really the first time ever you'd had all economies running on a fiat standard, that nobody had any hard money. So, and then on February 26th was really an echo of that moment, the Nixon shock, really, when the U.S. essentially said that the dollar is completely untrustworthy and that we're going to default and we're going to seize reserves of foreign countries whenever we want to. And I just don't think that, Greg, we've talked about convexity before and the central banks. And as a result of the 2008 bailout, they loaded up themselves with a lot of these debts. And, if long-term capital management was leveraged at 100 to 1, the Federal Reserve Bank conservatively is leveraged at 50 to 1, if not closer to 80 to 1 right now. So if they try to take rates anywhere higher, you're going to have massive default at the central bank. The central bank is going to need a bailout. So in 2008, Federal Reserve bailed out Wall Street. They swapped all their bad debts for fresh treasury bills, and they put all that bad debt on the books of the Fed. Now all that bad debt is worth 0 cents on the dollar, and nobody wants to buy U.S. debt anymore. The U.S. Treasury bond is being vomited from the reserves of countries all over the world. Nobody wants to buy U.S. debt. It's no good. It'd be stupid to buy U.S. debt. China's getting rid of their debt. Russia's gotten rid of all their debt. Japan is a huge basket case. Japan is actually the linchpin that holds together this whole global Ponzi scheme, because they always had the lowest rates, and you could always do that carry trade of borrowing in Japan and putting your money into some other currency and making a positive spread and then leveraging it up 20 times, and you've got this great carry trade. But that looks like that's also blowing up. So, I mean, I understand yield curve management. I understand that they can try to bring rates to a higher level, and I can understand, but that presumes that the game has another chapter to it. I don't think there is another chapter to it. I think the Fed goes bankrupt. I think the U.S. goes bankrupt, and I think that that's what we're looking at. And I think this is why there's a lot of countries are beating the war drum right now. There's a lot of saber rattling going on, and the U.S. now is going to open up another front against China, as well as the proxy war in Ukraine against Russia. So this is the end of empire stuff, Greg. Yeah. This is like America's had the world reserve currency for 100 years. It's had a great run, but it looks like this could, another 5 years, the U.S. could be pretty much
I concur.
Finished.
Yeah.
Since Russia was slapped with sanctions after sanctions for invading Ukraine, there have been multiple reports that the country is looking into the use of cryptocurrencies to reduce its financial dependence on the West, especially on the United States. The most recent report from the transcontinental country is that it is sooner or later going to legalize cryptocurrencies as a means of payment. Last month, Russian Trade Minister Denis Manturov hinted that the government and central bank may be moving closer to settling their differences on the issue of cryptocurrencies. More recently, the first deputy governor of Russia's central bank has revealed that the Apex Bank and the Russian government do not oppose the use of cryptocurrencies in international transactions. The question is, when this happens, how it will be regulated now that the central bank and government are actively working on it. Manturov replied when asked about cryptocurrencies gaining legal status in Russia. But everyone tends to understand that sooner or later this will be implemented, in some format or other, he added. With Russia possibly on the verge of legalizing cryptocurrencies, how soon do you think many other countries will join the likes of El Salvador and the Central African Republic, which have already taken the bold step? Please drop your comments as well as reactions to Foss and Keiser's interview in the comments section below. Also, remember to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and watch our other crypto-related videos. Thanks for watching.